I had a prophetic dream on September 29th of this year. When APEC came into focus to be here in California, the interpretation was then released by the Lord. The first scene is what looks like Pier 39 in San Francisco, a restaurant that also has an arcade in it, and I'm there purchasing lunch for somebody. The second scene is I hand this lunch over to this homeless person, and then I start walking away, and I pass an air hockey table. And when I look down at the place where the puck is returned, there was $1,000 bill sticking out of there. I don't touch the bill, but I go to tell the people at the restaurant that I found this $1,000 bill inside this air hockey table. When I walk back to the table, someone has stole the $1,000 bill, and in its place are all these cheap China cat toys. As I'm exiting the building, I see the person that took the $1,000 bill. I take hold of the person and I say, "Take me to the authority over you. Where's your mother? Take me to your mother." And the dream ends. Because of the cheap cat toys from China, China was my only lead. The Winter Olympics this year are going to be in Beijing. It was announced in January that air hockey is going to be a new Olympic sport in Beijing, which led me to remember that China is responsible for ping pong being an Olympic sport as well, which led me to the saying ping pong democracy or diplomacy, made famous by Richard Nixon and China in an agreement over having a mutual passion for ping pong. So two world superpowers bonded over ping pong in the 70s. And it's even a real thing, ping pong diplomacy. I mean, you have to hear it to believe it. Following the 1949 Chinese Revolution, there had been no diplomatic ties, limited trade, and very few contacts between U.S. and People's Republic of China. Their trip was the start of what became known as ping pong diplomacy and helped lay the groundwork for establishing official diplomatic relations between the U.S. and China and acceptance of each other's culture. San Francisco native Nancy Pelosi bid to have APEC come to San Francisco, and her bid won, and the APEC conference began yesterday. I think she has some serious skin in the game, considering she was in trouble for conflict of interest for all her investments, making millions in Asia. Pelosi's nephew, our Governor Newsom, recently went abroad and met with the Chinese and even got a meeting with Xi himself. It reminded me of when Pelosi went to Taiwan, and I'm like, why isn't Biden going? Don't send lesser authorities to talk to top authorities. That's classic, shifting responsibility so no one's accountable. Remember last year, Biden and Xi were going to meet here in the U.S., but when Xi sent that spy balloon over the U.S., Biden canceled. I don't know how Newsom got the job to go in and try to make up between the two. Something like, Biden likes you, do you like him? But all is well now, and she's coming to APEC. Then why am I getting a warning dream, right? The Bible says that all authority and power comes from God. He entrusts people with it, and they better do with it what they said they were going to do with it. To me, only Biden should have been meeting with Xi and with Taiwan. How Auntie Pelosi and nephew Gavin got the job is beyond me, but something's amiss. But then taking a layover in Tahoe on your way to visit Maui victims is amiss too. If you haven't seen it, watch my 6-week warning video, War Coming to the U.S., where God's going to make a scene and reintroduce himself as the God of all the nations, and he has requirements. I posted that video on October 24th, and I was shocked to find out that the United Nations was founded on that same day. The U.S. was the first member. What I didn't know was that San Francisco was the birthplace of the United Nations in 1945, where the U.S. became the first member. The 6-week warning, the Lord holds the UN and USA totally responsible for what's coming to the U.S. Let's look at the symbolism of the $1,000 bill. The $1,000 bill was printed because it made buying supplies to have the Revolutionary War convenient. It was created specifically for war. Then it was out of print, and it was reprinted again at the time of the Civil War. Symbolically, $1,000 bills represent money for war. Many $1,000 bills now in circulation are rare and collector's items. In the dream I said, "Take me to your authority, take me to your mother." I wondered if China called their homeland mother. No, they don't. It's patriarchal, so they have been known to call it the fatherland. So I questioned, who calls their nation mother? All of those nations are of Latin origin except for Mother Russia, which I guess is a great big deal. I guess all through history, Russia has been a mother, symbolized as a mother, called a mother. For Mother Russia is what the soldiers say. What also came up is the Mother Church being referred to as the Catholic Church because they believe that the Protestants are all the little children that strayed away. It's been 17 months since I started warning people about the attack of Iran on the church involving Russia because of Israel. As far as the Pope goes and the Mother Church, I have seen almost every world leader on their knee kissing his ring, so whatever that's about, that could be addressed. I guess we'll have to see if all this hand-holding will have a good outcome, but according to the dream, there may be a facade of deepening economic ties, but the dream shows that everything is not as it appears. It hints of war that could include Russia and China, or maybe even the Pope being involved at some point. Behind China is a mother. The acting like they're giving you $1,000, but you getting the short end of the stick, with others behind it, mothers behind it. If I get more revelation, I'll do another part.